Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for your response from the haul and gifts video I had. I was thrilled that so many of you wanted us to do colouring in Klara Markova. I have been itching to get started on these books and I've agonised over which picture to do, and I kept coming back to the same one. Now I know I'd said, I think, was it this book that we would do? Was it? I can't remember. I've looked. Yes, this picture. I know I said we'd do this picture. However, I'm thinking the Albert Duras will help me with that, and I'm just a little afraid to start in these beautiful books with my Albert Duras at the moment. I am practicing and I'm still going ahead, and we will get there. But this page kept jumping out at me, and it is, not this one, sorry, the wedding dress. To me, this is a, so much junk on my desk. This looks like a wedding dress. So I had this idea that if I could make, let me come in a little bit, there we go. If I could make this dress look ivory, like a traditional ivory wedding dress, maybe not white, ivory, definitely. And then we could do sort of a green background into a blue background, and have pinks and greens, and that's as far as I've got. But I can just kind of visualise how I want it to be. Now, whether I can pull off the wedding dress or not is another thing. Now, I did photocopy the page because you know what I'm like. I have to practice, practice, practice. And this bit here is the bit that I was happy with. Sort of, yeah, I don't know if you can see it because I've outlined it, but it's just got some very pale beige and a little bit of pink and a tiny bit of blue, and then white Posca it. And then standing out around this background with a few little sort of scattered fairy lights here and there. I'll make them smaller than that, I think. I think it will stand out. Obviously you've got so much background going on there and so many busy bits that the dress will just be beautiful, I think, and very different. So that was my thoughts. Now, I did want to do it, like I say, with the Albert Duras, but I'm not, what's the word? I'm not competent, I suppose, for lack of a better word, enough in them yet to produce what I want on this, although the colours would have been great in polychromos. But today I'm going to be using our Prismacolor Premiers, just because they're a safe bet, and also they had the colours that I wanted. I wanted a more muted tone for our leaves. So I will stop waffling and we'll get going. Now, do I start with the wedding dress? I mean, if it fluffs up, it fluffs up. What can I do? But these are such beautiful books that I don't want that to happen. Okay, so I've got 5 pencils here. In order from darkest to lightest, I have Clay Rose, that's our really dark shadow. Seashell Pink, then I've got Pink Rose, or Rose Pink, then I've got Cloud Blue, and then I've got a tiny bit of 10% French Grey, and that'll be just to help blend these two out. So for the minute I'm going to leave out the Clay Rose. I'm just going to put that in at the end. So, and I'm going to start with my shadows with Seashell Pink. These will all be on the screen. I'm going to do the bit that I started with because that seems to make sense. Where did I start? Here. Let's do this one. So I'm going to go over the line. Actually, that wouldn't be there. So forget that already. And I'll tell you why. This is a fold in her dress. This is tucked under here, and this bit is protruding forward. So that would probably be our lightest part of the dress, and here would be a shadow. Does that make sense? So this is tucked underneath this piece of dress. So I'm just going to go in and put that Seashell Pink in. And just sort of bring it down a little bit. And we can put just a few random lines in there like that. Okay, let's now take our pink and our blue. So let's take our rose pink, beautiful, beautiful colour. and I'm really lightly doing this, but I do want some colour. So where I've put that beige, what colour was it? Clay, no, seashell pink, my apologies. I'm just going to follow with the pink and put a few streaks in there. A bit like how we do hair, just so it keeps it soft. And then again, I'm going to take the cloud blue, and on the other side of the beige, of the seashell pink rather, I'm going to put that blue in. I want a hint of colour. So where our lightest colour is, I'm putting that blue in there. Now we're not going to have a lot of colour. I just want it to almost look like it is, like I said, ivory. So this is our darkest one. This is our clay rose. So I'm going to put that in where our very darkest colour is. And I'm just using really light pressure. I'm just tantalising the page, if you like. Like look at the colour you could have. If that makes sense to you. So just bring that round there, nice and softly. Be dark under there because that bit of dress is hanging over the top. And it's really up to you then how much you want to put in there. So I'm going to now take my French grey. Oh gosh, were you close enough? Can you see even what I've done? Well, we're going to do more, so I do apologise. I've just got home from work and I thought, I've got to go and do some colouring. I've had a pretty awful time here. But we're fighting on, folks. Okay, so this is 10% French grey, and I'm just smoothing out that clay rose. And I'm going to take, just cleaning off the end of my white, just make sure that's clean. And I'm going to take the white Prisma. And then I'm just going to run that through. Not that it will make too much difference, but we can Poscarise that. And I think I need a little bit more blue showing. Because when we then put the white Posca on it, that will change colour. Right, Lucy, stop and think. When we put the white Posca on it, all this colour will almost disappear. So we need some colour. So I'm going back in with seashell pink now. I'm just going to make sure that that clay rose is blended through. And by using this, it kind of accentuates the colour that we've put down. I hope that makes sense. Let's do another bit. Okay, sip of tea time. This is nerve-wracking. These books are so beautiful. I can't believe that Heather gave them to me. I'm so very lucky. So, okay, let's see. So, we're going to go in with our seashell pink. Now, here's our dark bit, again, here, underneath the dress, and this side where this dress folds over. Klara has put in darker lines, but if you just think about where the dress folds over, and my rule of thumb, which I talked about on the last colour with me, I do believe, is I have no idea about shadows and stuff like that, but my rule of thumb is if it's underneath or behind, then it needs some shadow. That's my rule of thumb. That's how I work. So I'm just going to put the pink in now. This bit here is going to be our lightest bit because that's folded over. So on our lightest bit, like I said earlier, I'm going to make sure I've got that blue edge, because against that white, that's going to make it look even more like it's reflecting colour. Maybe it's a bit of a satiny dress. And then I'm going to go in with my white. I'm just going to push back some of that beige. And then our 10% grey, let's just pull that out. Okay. And what I want to do is finish this bit and we can Posca it, so I can kind of show you I just don't want it to be too dark. I just wanted that hint of ivory. And that white helps because usually you get a milky tone, and that's good in this case. When you go over it with white Prisma, it changes what's called a tint, isn't it, in colours, and you get like a more milky version of the colours you've put down. I hope all of this makes sense, folks. I've been doing a lot of research. So I haven't put any clay rose on that bit, but down here, this little bit, without a shadow, excuse the pun, of doubt, it's going to need a bit of clay rose, because that is behind everything else. It's the bottom part of her dress there. So let's just pull that in lightly. Then I'm going to take my 10% French grey and obliterate that. Okay, then we can go in with, is that the end of her dress? Yeah, we'll go in with a bit of blue there. And it's okay to leave white in this case. When we get to the bigger bits, I'm going to add white Posca in as well, so we get sort of reflection colours. Okay, let's do this big bit. So this side is underneath here, and this at the top here is underneath those. So I'm just going to bring that down. And underneath, behind that mushroom. Have a little bit of a crease there. And just sort of streak it in, like we did on the first one. Then I'm going to take my rose pink and I'm going to follow that beige edge and just streak that in. It's really, really simple, folks. I hope to goodness that when we've done it, it looks effective. I really do. Okay, so I've got white bits left in there. Let me come right in close. I know this, I have to be careful because this camera on the little screen makes it look like you're much further away than you actually are, and then I edit it and it's like, oh wow, okay, you can see the grain of the paper. So I'm going to take my clay rose and I'm holding the pencil further back so that it's a lighter touch when you put it down. And I'm doing all this because Heather was sent these 3 books all the way from the USA. 3 Klara Markova books. I can't believe the love, and so I really want... Okay, this is going to be behind that, so that's got to be dark. Yeah, I really want to do them justice. So we may have to do a couple of parts on this video, we'll see. I think once the wedding dress is done though, it will be a bit more of a breeze. So I've put the clay rose in, because this bit of dress is behind that first bit we did. So seashell pink, and then we're going to streak a little bit of blue in, just a little bit. Okay, we're going to take our white and make sure that's the bits that we'd left white are really white, and we'll, like I say, Posca those later. There we go. So it really is 10% French grey, sorry, and we'll just blend that out. It really is, that's it. And I'm going to leave the wings because I haven't decided that are up here. The wings that go with the fairy dress. I haven't decided how I'm going to do those yet, but I'm sure as the page develops I'll work it out. So I hope that makes sense. Let's do these bits quickly. Okay, these are much darker, so I'm going to go in, there's a dark bit there, clay rose, and then seashell pink, isn't it? I can't remember the name. Let's move you up a bit. Okay, clay rose here because that's going to be really much darker. And then what I'll do is Posca this bit with you so you can see on camera what it looks like. Because you might be thinking, oh Lucy, that's a holy mess right now. So that's our seashell pink. Then I'm going to go over that before we do anything else with our 10% French grey and just smush that out. Okay, so here I'm going to make that the lightest part of our dress. So I'm going to have a blue bit because we're going to Posca that line out. You'll see, it'll make sense, hopefully. And then I'm just going to blend in here a tiny bit of that pink into that fold there. And then go back in with our French grey, I think. And I'm still holding the pencil further back than I normally would. Okay, right, I'm going to finish off this fold really quickly so that I can show you. I'm going to keep that so I can show you what it looks like with Posca on it. And then I'll go off and do the whole bottom of her dress, but not the bodice. I'll save the bodice, we'll do that together. So I'm using the same colours, clay rose, seashell pink here. %, French grey, just to blend that and lighten it. Then I'm going to put where our light bit is, where it's more open to any light would be here, and then maybe here. I'm going to put that blue bit on and make sure I've got enough of that. And then I'm just going to blend very lightly with our rose pink in there. Okay, and then 10% French grey again. Just going to make that little bit, this bit, I've washed that out quite a lot, that shadow. I'm just going to darken that up just a little bit. Okay, beautiful, it's going to be beautiful, I'm telling you. More tea, more tea. Oh gosh, I hope it turns out. I'm going to be devastated if it doesn't. Clay rose, because that bit's underneath. Seashell pink. And blue, I think we'll have blue here. And then I'm going to blend a little bit of the rose pink in there. 10% French grey. And I'm just going to go back over that clay rose because that grey really knocks that clay rose back. Okay. Right, any white we need in there. And I'm pressing quite hard when I put my white in. Not burnishing. It'd still be able to take more colour, but just pressing quite hard. Okay. Do that bit and that bit. And then you'll be able to see, hopefully. So I'm going to put clay rose there at that edge. Seashell pink. We'll put the blue in. And don't worry too much if you're heavy-handed like I have been there with your colour, because we're going to use a lot of Posca. Or any paint pens that you've got. So hopefully this will show you how to do all the foldy bits. Yeah, so if it's not tucked underneath anything or behind anything, make it lighter. That is just how I'm going to go with this. And I don't think it really matters. It's a fairy book. You know, we don't have to be artistically accurate to scale, or, you know, we're not Thomas Kincaid here. I'm going to do this bit as well. Oh, I can't believe I forgot to tell you. Talking of Thomas Kincaid, can you tell the excitement? Oh my goodness, he's coming out with another book. There's going to be a new Posh colouring book. I don't know, well, Posh are bringing out a new colouring book from Thomas Kincaid's work. That's got to be another must-have. Absolutely stunning artist. Okay, a little bit of pink. And then put that blue in. Okay, I think I've done enough here. I'm going to zoom out slightly, just slightly. There we go. To show you, I need a bit of pink in there. Yeah, I think I've done enough to show you what it will look like when we put Posca on. And then I can, what I'm going to do, I'll come right out for a second, hang on. Is do the whole wedding dress. I think we've done the hardest bit was this bit with all the tucks and folds. The rest of it is going to be fairly straightforward, I think. Yeah, I might come back and actually do that with you round here. So yeah, anyway, we might have to do that down there. We'll see. Okay. So, Posca. This is the one with the clear clip, if you're interested, because they confuse the hell out of me, so that's what I look for. It's got a little clear clip on it, but this is the number, 0.7mm, but it says PC 1mm. I've no idea what's going on in the world. Right, let's Posca. Okay, now if we lose any definition of the dress, what we can do is go back in with that beautiful clay rose and bring it back. So if it looks like we've lost the folds in the dress, we will just deepen up those folds. I can't do round the edge, can I? Because I haven't done the background. But this will just give you an idea of what my thoughts are, where we're going with this. Okay, so I've got, and I'll go back over that. Posca's always streaky, isn't it? Where I've got white highlights, I'm going to flick Posca in there. You don't have to be tidy. So you have to remember the colour we've put down is supposed to be just showing really that it's white and it's reflecting other colour. That clay rose has given us a nice line there. We'll take those dark ones out. I can do this bit. But it makes such a big difference once the Posca's on, done properly. You might have to go over once, more than once. I can do this bit. And don't be afraid to streak that Posca in. Can you see? Yeah. I'm sorry, I hope this bit's not boring. I just want to show you just how cool this will look when it's all white. I will do round here. I can always go back over it if I lose it when I do the background. I just want you to see, is it worth doing? Do you like it? I mean, you can always do yours a different colour, but it just screamed wedding dress to me. And yeah. There we go. Oh, I think it's going to be stunning. I really hope so. Just hope Heather feels that I'm doing these books justice after sending them to me all the way from the USA. Okay, I love it. I love it. Look at that. Can you see? Oh, it's just gorgeous. So, yeah, I think what I might do, I'm going to have a pause because my hands are killing me. I've got the colours ready, I've got our greens ready, and I've got some blues ready. We're going to merge the background, but there's the glues, lots of them. But I don't know whether to do background first. Anyway, I'm going to go and have a break and I'll think about it. I've got the colours, but it's just which way round I do it so I don't drag colours in, if you know what I mean. Just going to do that bit for you. Now we've got lots of choices now for the wings and for the bits at the top. We've got lots of choices in colour because I've used the blue and the pink and the clay rose, and we can incorporate that into the picture, so we can use different colours to bring out the details of the leaves here and the wings. So, which I don't know what I'm doing yet. I just saw the wedding dress and knew what I wanted to do for the background. So, alright my lovely folks, I'm going to have a break and then I will be back, and we'll either get on with the dress. I don't know whether just to carry on the dress with you, or whether you get it. I don't know if I've done enough. I might just bring it down here with you so you can see where I put the folds and things. Alright, I'll see you in a second. Okay guys, so I went away. I thought, I'll just start a little bit of the wedding dress and then come back to you. Sorry, my mouth is sore again. I don't know what's going on. And I realise it's probably a little bit more complicated than I'd initially thought. So I think we'll finish it together. Same colours, and I'll leave. I'm just going to pour a bit of Coke. I've got these flipping mouth ulcers started again. I came home, started my video, had a little bit of a rest and a nap, and woke up with a... they're all over my tongue again. So, anyway. Right, let's get back to it. Got a little bit of drink. Got my colours in my hand. So, the reason why I say it's a little bit more complex than I'd initially thought, these bits will white out where the black lines are. So I want a bit of blue in there, because that blue really sort of accentuates and makes it look white. So I'm trying to pick out areas where it would be lighter, so I'm making sure that the blue goes in there. So let's do that together. Obviously this bit under the leaves and the detailing is going to be darker. See, this bit here has got it's dipped in there but comes out here, so I'm going to put more blue there. So wherever I want the white lines to go, really, I'm going to need some blue on it. This bit is like pushed in. It's hard to explain what I mean. And we'll go around there. So if that bit's coming in, then this bit's coming out. So we're going to need a bit of blue here. Do you see what I mean? That bit's protruding, it's coming out, so that would have more light. So, and what I'm doing is going up here, instead of leaving the lines disjointed, I'm joining them up. Otherwise they just look like we've just drawn lines on our page. And that's fairly easy because it's just the clay rose. So we've put the clay rose in, so now we have to put the seashell pink in. And bring that, I'm going to bring that down. I hope you don't mind us concentrating, but obviously concentrating a lot on this dress, but obviously this is the focal point of the page. And a big thing with Klara's books is they are more complex. I love the first one. I've looked and looked and looked. You cannot get hold of it, can you? That her very first one, the red covered one, and the next one. I like the little nudie, the little nude fairy in there on the front. Yeah, but I don't think you can get hold of it. If anybody knows otherwise or has one that they want to sell to me, a copy of the very first one or the second one, please let me know, because I would love it. I'd love to, yeah, it's just so funny, isn't it? That little streaky, there's a little like naked fairy at the front, on the front cover, on the first page. And I like her books like that. They're the first ones seem to have less detailing in them, less detailed, so it would be really good for me to do my watercolour pencils in and things like that. And not that I'm not grateful, I am. I'm going to have so much pleasure with these. I love them, as you can probably tell, which is why I'm not using my Albrecht Duras in them. So I'm going back in with my clay rose here, and obviously these bits are going to be shadowed. And then I'm taking my seashell pink. So everybody at school has got this horrible sickness, cold-like virus. It's not COVID because they've tested, apparently. A lot of them have tested, but so it's not COVID. I'm just praying that, sorry, this is the 10% French grey, I'm just toning it down. I'm just praying that I don't get it. So far, touch wood, where have I got wood? Here. Wood. That I've escaped it. So, yeah, oh gosh, I don't want to be ill again. And we've got half term next week. I can't afford to be ill. I've got lovely colouring books to colour in. So I'm going in with the blue, and I'm going to bring that up. And of course we can always go back in when we've whited stuff, when we've Poscarised it. And then I'm just going over with the rose pink for a minute. Like I say, we can always go over when we've put the white Posca on and we see where we want more colour. But if you can see here, I hope you can see the colours, the blue really stands out when you put the white next to it. So we don't need to go too heavy-handed with it. It's just figuring out where our lightest bits will be. So for example, if we look at this here, this part of the dress, this bit is coming over like this. What do you call it? Convex, isn't it? Convex, yeah, and concave is the other way. So this bit will be our highest point. So if I put the blue in there, that would have more light than the other bits. So then we can white out those lines and that will show up. This bit will be very dense material because it's all bunched up, and this is lower down. So that'll be darker under there. This is my thought process. This is how I'm going to work it out. I don't know, folks, if it's right or wrong, but as long as it looks good, I don't care. Like I said, I'm not Thomas Kincaid. Oh, and the other thing, talking of Thomas Kincaid, new books. Kirby's got one coming next year, and yeah, I've pre-ordered it already. I'm a fan. I'm a super fan. I've pre-ordered. Where else we want? I'm going to have a bit of blue up that line. Yeah, it's called Dark Fairy Tales. Can you imagine? Oh my goodness, that's going to be a favourite. I do love Kirby. I wasn't a super fan of the Alien Worlds. I did do a colour with me in it, but I'm not a super fan of it, to be honest. My favourite was the Fragile Worlds. I absolutely adore that book. Yeah, that was my ultimate favourite. I'm just going to put a little bit of blue this side of that line, and then leave the rest of that white. We'll go in with some white with a bit of heavy pressure there, or heavier pressure. I'm not like mushing it. There. So if that bit's blue, because that's going to have a white line there, I'm going to put my clay rose in there. We're going to have to do that anyway because it's all swooshed over. This bit's going to be darker because all this is hanging in front of the rest of the dress. So I'm going to put that clay rose all the way in there. And I'll probably have to go back over my white lines, but that's okay. Then our seashell pink. Let's pull that out. Just concentrate on this bit for a minute. And I think if you're doing this, just sections at a time. Don't rush yourself, and just sort of talk yourself through it like I've done. Where is it behind? Where is it the dress look like it's dipping in instead of protruding out? Put a little bit of our pink over that. And like I say, we'll go back over those lines when we've finished. Okay, right, so if that's our dark bit, I am going to make this bit our blue standy out bit. There. And then therefore, this bit is going to be tucked behind. Again. So we'll just put a little bit in there. Can you see? Yeah. I'm sorry that, like I say, there's nothing much I can do to speed this up, really. I want you to be able to see what I'm doing and where I'm doing it. Like I said, the rest of the page will be much easier and much quicker, but I think if I don't get this right, then that's 10% French grey. Then the whole page is going to be a flop. Right, so 10% French grey over that bit. There we go. So that's now all crinkled up. And what I'm going to do is bring out some blue. Just round here. Just so when we put the white in, the white pen in, we get that white highlight. And just go over all of that. Get that nice milky tone that I talked about before. There. Okay, nearly there. Okay, so then this bit is all ruched up as well, so that's going to be considerably darker up here because we've got berries and leaves, plus it's being picked up and ruched up. So then we're going to go to our seashell pink. I keep forgetting the name of that. Very annoying. Yeah, it's seashell pink. There. And then I'm going to put blue on the opposite side, just a little bit. There we go. And then we'll go in with our rose pink, just lightly over those darker areas. We'll have just a snipsy bit of blue there. Okay, I hope this is making sense. Okay, let's see now. This bit looks like it's, if you look at the bottom, that this bit is coming out, so this bit's going to be lighter. So let's start with that. Let's put our blue up there. Put our blue up there. This bit will be darker. So if that bit's protruding, this bit's got to be going in. See my ridiculous rationale? I think it's working. So I'm going to bring that up just so it doesn't look like we've got a random line in the way. And then this side I'm going to make a little bit darker. Okay. Seashell pink. I think if I understood light and shadow a bit better, it wouldn't take so long to colour it, but it is what it is. Blush pink, rose pink, whatever's on the screen. Oh my goodness. Okay, a little bit of the French grey. I'm going to put some white in there. Okay, and we'll have some pink coming up here, maybe down there. We can have a little bit of shadow behind this berry. Around that leaf. And of course, you know, we're not stuck with this. If we're not happy with it, we can always go back in once. I think probably the best thing to do would be once the rest of the page is done, to come back and have a look and revisit then. You know, where do I need more shadow? You know, where do I need to deepen it up? All those kind of things. But for me, I think if I get this bit right, then I'll feel more confident about doing the rest of the page. This is our focal point, isn't it? So what I was thinking was, we've got this white wedding dress, or this very ivory wedding dress, and then making the rest of the page really quite bright, so it really stands out as a white or ivory wedding dress. I think it will look beautiful when it's done. And I hope it's going to give the illusion of a wedding dress. What book is this? Oh, Fairy Touch of Magic. Yes, of course. I can't remember the titles. I've looked through them so many times with excitement and glee about colouring in them. Okay. Just going to put some white on these bits. Can you see everything? I'm just going to put some white up here just to make that blend it in. Too much white there. And then I'm thinking we'll add sparkle, or make it look sparkly, so like a magic coming off of it, is what I'm thinking. Alright, so we've got the bodice to do, but I'm not going to do the leaves here or the wings for the minute. I think I'm going to do the rest of the page, and then I'll come back to those. So I'm going to do the same with the bodice, and then we'll put detailing in with pen or something, so it looks like little beads or touch of magic. So clay rose in these darker spots. And I think we'll go up the sides, would make sense with the clay rose. Can you see? Yeah, I did move the book. Suddenly panicked. Around the neck, I think. We've got little dots, I don't know if you can see, that Klara's given us as indication of shadow. So we'll put a little bit there and a little tiny bit round the neck. Okay, then we'll go in with our seashell pink. Just get a drink. Sorry, excuse me. Seashell pink. Yes, we've not had the best time. My father was given new medication. He has angina, and he was given some new stronger medication following some investigation. And it really knocked him for six, made him feel very, very poorly. And we had to have an ambulance out to him today, this morning. Bless him. He's home now, he's fine. So this is, you know, this saga has gone on to just today. Okay, so I'm just going to add some pink, the rose pink to that. Otherwise, it kind of looks dirty, like she's got a dirty wedding dress. We can't have that. yeah, so he's home now and he's okay. It's just going to take some time to get used to this new medication that's very strong. And then my younger son and his beautiful wife had a terrible scare with the baby. Her waters broke and she has leaking waters, so we were all terrified for a time. As you can imagine, she's only like 22 weeks. I'm going in with the 10% French grey. She's only 22 weeks, so it, you know, it would not have been good. But thankfully, to the care of the hospital team, she's now home. She was in there a good while, and they're monitoring her weekly between the hospital and a midwife, and they'll just keep an eye on her because obviously the biggest risk is infection. Where am I going to put? I'm going to put the blue round here. So yeah, it's just been, oh, it's been relentless. I mean, give us a break. And I'm going to put blue in there. Okay, we're going to have some blue coming up around those lines. But yeah, she's home, she's safe, baby's doing okay. So we just have to pray and thank, you know, thank our lucky stars that everything so far is good. So the longer she goes, the better. So yeah, so she's just on bed rest. It's just, everything's been so worrying, you know. Well, you all do know. You have your own ups and downs too. You tell me in the comments or emails. I've missed a bit there, so I'm just going in with the clay rose. I just appreciate being able to sort of chat to you about it all. It's nice, and I know you're listening. Right, a bit more white up there. Just want to knock that back a bit. And in here, while still keeping that blue. I think that's an important part. Okay, let's come out. Right, so when it's whited out, it will look like that part, and then we can add more white in. I'm really pleased with it. Shall we do some of these leaves then? So I've got quite subtle colours here for the leaves on her dress. A more muted green. So I've got, from darkest to lightest, I've got dark green, that'll be our shadows. Then I've got Kelly green, and then I've got pale sage, and I've got a tiny bit of cream. So I'm going to do, let's do these ones first. So I'm going to start here, and I'm going to put a tiny bit of our dark green in the centre of that leaf there, and bring it up just slightly on those edges. Then I'm going in with our Kelly green. I love this combination. It's so pretty. Very fresh green look. Okay. Then our pale sage. And that will knock that Kelly green back. It blends just beautifully with Kelly green. And then I'm just going to put a tiny bit of cream on the edge. And that should stand out away from our dress without it being too overwhelming. That was my thought. So I'm going to do on this side the dark green, just slightly, not too much on that side. Then the Kelly green, and we're going to leave a little spot in the centre for just a dash of cream. Just a little dash down the centre of cream, and then we can go back in with our dark green. Okay, that's how our leaves are going to be done. And then we're going to use the same colours for these little tiny bits, so I'm going to have to probably sharpen them. So it will just be dark green right at the top, like in anyone's underneath, bit of dark green, then the Kelly green, then the sage green, pale sage, sorry, and then we'll put a little tiny bit of cream in there. Alright, now berries, I've got three colours, just three colours, and we're going to use the white Posca for highlights. Now this is going to be a bright combination. Like I said, other than the leaves that are quite sort of muted there, the rest of it I'm going to try and make sort of brighter so it pushes the white out of the wedding dress, if that makes sense. So I've only got three colours. I've got raspberry, I've got processed red, and I've got pink. This is going to be for our little berries. So, patience people. So I'm going to fill that tiny bit in with raspberry because it's a tiny one on the edge, and there, and in there. So let me pick one. So, a bit of raspberry up the side. You've got to be quite patient with this. Processed red, and then I'm going to fill the rest up with pink. There we go. Go back in with my processed red. I think I did have a darker colour, yes. Hang on. I had, where is it? Was it? Yeah, a bit of black grape. So I'm just going to darken up right at the bottom. There we go, just to define each little berry. Okay, so raspberry, because these are so teeny tiny, they're easy. You need that sort of darker colour to separate each little section. Otherwise it's easy to lose the definition on them. Just put a little bit more raspberry in there. And I think these colours should really help to, like I say, make our wedding dress look white. And I can't outline it all until we've done all this, so and pink. And then I will use a Posca or a gel pen of some kind to put in any highlights. Oh, that was my tummy rumbling. I do apologise if you heard that. So a little bit of black grape just round each section, just to help them divide. There. And then, obviously, take my trusty Posca. And we're just going to have a little highlight section, a little highlight dot on each of them. I know that's over the top, but this is a fantasy fairy book. So, project for Lucy. I am going to go away and I'm going to fill up all the berries on her dress and the leaves, and I'm going to do the bigger berries in the same fashion. So I'm going to go off and do that so that this video doesn't end up being a million years long, and we will meet back up when I've done that. I'll see you in a second. Right guys, so here it is with all the berries and leaves done. I haven't done the berries up there because I want to do the background, and because they're darker colours I don't want to drag the colours in when I do the background, if that makes sense. I'm not going to do any more to the wedding dress. I have whited it out just so you can see. I've whited it out where I can, where it won't have colouring around it, just so you can see what it looks like. I'm really, really pleased so far with how it's come out. So now is my test of my New Year's resolution to push myself, and it's scary. So this is the background. We're going to do the background, and then we're going to have to call it part 1, I think. So I have got 4 colours, and on my practice messy sheet, this is what I'm going for. A sort of bluey, turquoisey, spotty background. So it looks like there's little fairy lights in there. If it doesn't work, I'll erase it, and I'll go over, because there isn't a lot, I'll go over with, I don't know, we can paint it, we can pen it, whatever, but I'm not gonna be negative. We're gonna be positive about it. So from darkest to lightest, a very weird combination. I've got non-photo blue, blue slate, then a little bit of the pale sage, and then a tiny bit of grey green light. That will help us blend. So, and what I want is it to look like a magical background, but just not in your face, if that makes sense, because I need colour to make the dress pop out, but I don't want it to be overwhelming. So I'm going to start, let's start in this bit, the bit that I'd practiced, and if I can get that right on the book, then I'll be happy to carry on. So I've got non-photo blue, so I'm going to go in where I want the deeper colour. So I'm going to put that round the wedding dress, because obviously that'll be outlined in white, and possibly the wings too. So let's bring that out. And as you can tell, I'm being very nervous and very cautious, but okay. Then let's switch to the blue slate, just very lightly. And I think I'm possibly going to shove in a little fairy light in there somewhere. Or a little bit of, I don't know what it is, a bit of light of some sort. So now I'm going to go in with my pale sage and go round that fairy light source. And bring that pale sage through. It's the same colour we use in the leaves, so it should help to sort of pull it all together. Bring that down a bit. And it will change that blue into a sort of turquoisey, greeny blue. And then just the pale sage round the outside of that little light. Okay, alright, so I'm going to put, I want a little one there, and I'm going to use the pale sage to do that. So I want a little one there, maybe a bigger one there, and let's just have another tiny one there. Can you see that? Shall I come in a bit closer? I hope you can pick up on that. So now let's go back in with and start again. So I'm going to put my non-photo blue around this edge. I feel a bit more confident now, and we can then go over it when we're ready. So I'm going to put the non-photo blue in all the spots that I think would potentially be a bit darker. And then we're going to go in with our blue slate and bring that up. That will start to make our transition, so we can get that soft green in there. We can go round there, around that edge, around those bubbles really lightly, whatever they are, little spotty things. I don't know, just making it up as I go along. I just like the colour, thought it was very pretty, and to break it up with the little bursts of light, pale sage, and I'm just doing this, as you probably can tell, extremely lightly, just so we get that soft colour. This is very out of my comfort zone. But like I said before, if I don't, this is pale, sap green, sorry, grey green light. If I don't test myself and push myself, I'm never gonna, my colouring's never going to expand. So that was my New Year's resolution, not to be so scaredy about things. Now, if this is a big flop, what's the worst that I'm going to have to do? I'm going to have to, sorry, this is blue slate, I'm going to have to paint over the background. That's not going to be a bad thing. Painted backgrounds look beautiful. So why worry? I hope you're proud of me, folks. We're pushing ourselves. Okay. It's got a little darker there, and that's because that's where the Posca is, but I can go back in. So I'm just going around with the blue slate just to bring out those little highlights a bit more. Our little fairy light. And then we'll go back in with the pale sage and go round them again. Bring that colour in until we get a nice mix of those blues and green. And back in with our non-photo blue down here. Really lightly. Okay, blue slate again. So we get a kind of, we've got a bluey green turquoisey colour going on. It's really pretty, but subtle still. Okay. Oh gosh, I think that's going to be beautiful. Then I'm going to take my grey-green light, and that's what I'm going to blend with. So now I'm a bit more confident and happy with it. So I think we'll kind of get, this is blue slate again. This dark line will go. I'll go back over with my Posca and that'll go if I need to. I don't know what I was going to say. The lightest one. Let's go over that line. Try and take that out so I don't have to sort of put too much Posca on there. What do you think, folks? Do you think it's going to be pretty, or let's just put a line of Posca back over that edge of that dress and see what happens then. Just take that dark blue line out. There we go. And then we can do up the side of her dress now. We are going to finish the dress off with stuff that needs doing on it, but things I can't do until... What do you think? I think if I commit to it now and do it, I think it's going to be very beautiful. And something very different for me. So shall we try down the other side of the... Let's try down the other side of the dress while I'm feeling brave. I'm sorry about my speech. It's this ulcer on my tongue is growing by the day. Okay, so non-photo blue, let's go in here. And I'm just going to make sure I do it really lightly. I'm going to put a little, oh maybe not because I've done it with the blue. Right, let's go in with our pale sage and make our little fairy lights. So I have one there, let's put a bigger one there, and oh look, I've missed a bit of dress. Let's put seashell, just put the seashell pink in there. And maybe have, might be a bit tricky to put one there. Let's try a little one there. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. Whatever. And no, I'm not being blasé with my book. I'm trying to, I'm just trying to push myself out of my usual comfort zone. I see all these beautiful colourings and I think, well, I was watching Colouring with Alina. I've been watching a lot of colouring videos, and I've watching Colouring with Alina, and in one of her videos, bless her heart, she said she'd been watching, it was an older one, she said she'd been watching, so this is Slate Grey, she said she'd been watching Peter Hewitt, which we all know was an incredible YouTuber. I wish she'd come back. And she said, bless her heart, if I want to be as good as her, I knew it was going to take a lot of practice and hard work. And oh my goodness, Alina, well, I don't know if you haven't seen her channel, you'll have to go over and have a look, but gosh, she is so talented. So I've been watching a lot of videos, like I put them on double speed, and just watch how they're doing things. And so I don't want this to end up looking polka dotty, and I've got a feeling that that side might a little bit, but we leave it, Lucy, and we'll come back to it. Yeah, what was I saying? Oh, she's my goodness, she's got a talent, but obviously at some point she thought, do you know what, to step things up I have to practice, and so that's what I'm doing. And I've got you guys to come along for the pleasure with me, which is really lovely. Yeah, I think that's better. So I think what I think I'm going to take some of those out. I think less is more, because it just looks a bit polka dotty there. So I'm going to go in with my pale sage. Take that one out. Let's get rid of that. Okay, I think that'll be, we can put a little bit of blue in there just to hide the fact that there was a circle there. Yeah, so I think less is going to be the option here, the answer here. Sorry, I'm getting excited and can't speak. And then this grey-green light is beautiful. It just really changes the tone of that. I love it. I think it's beautiful. I think it's going to be a gorgeous background. So let's do another bit. Right, round this, I think this, let me just move the camera up a little bit, because I'm not going to be able to colour there. There we go. I think that is supposed to be like a green lantern. But I don't think I'm going to do it as a light source. To be honest, I think I'm just going to continue with my background. I might be pushing myself a little bit too far if I try that. So let's go in with our non-photo blue. So I'm going to have some there. And then let's map out with our pale sage. Let's have one there. We can have one down here. I think the more random will be the answer, so that they're not, we don't get a polka dot background. Definitely don't want that. Okay, and what I can do actually is if I go round this light with the pale sage, is it pale sage? Gosh, yeah, go round this light with the pale sage, then it will naturally look like it's glowing anyway when we put the blues in. What do you think? So we'll go round our little circles. Around that one there. And that one. So that will maintain those. And our glow. And then we'll go back to our non-photo blue. I'm going to put a little bit in here. And what is that? Oh, it's part of the wing. Oh, okay, that's okay then. Oh dear, Lucy Lou, what are you doing? Okay, we'll have a little bit in there. Up in here, around the tree. Just really lightly. That way we've got options if things go wrong. I might have another little circle in there. Okay. So, and I'm just going to do one little section at a time and just take my time. Back in with the blue slate. Yeah, take my time and just enjoy the process. When I first got the Fairy Celebrations book, I hated the paper. I thought it was awful, and the problem was I was pressing too hard. And I was filling up the tooth of the paper before I'd even got sort of finished with what I was doing. So my advice is, if you're heavy-handed, start going back, holding your pencil further back. It really helps. Okay, a little bit of that blue slate, bring that down. I need a piece of paper, not one that's got colouring on it. I just want to protect the page underneath. Okay, let's go in with our pale sage. So I'm just holding the pencil further back than I normally would, if you've noticed, and that will just give me a much lighter hand and more control. And I thought these colours also would incorporate, we've used the pale sage in our leaves, so that would incorporate those colours. So almost like we've got a little bit of sky peeping through all this greenery and magic. And then we'll go to our lightest one, which is grey-green light, and help blend that through. What do you think, folks? So we've got natural glow here, almost. Let's put a little bit of that round there. And then we have to start this bit, but I'm just going to put a little bit more blue in there. Like that. I think that'll be okay around this because I wanted it to sort of glow. But I think, like I said earlier, I have to be aware that I think we'll do less of the fairy lights. Okay, so non-photo blue. Can you see? Just move you up slightly. Non-photo blue, bring that round. Might do it down the edge of the page too. Like that. Okay, then we're going with our blue slate. I don't know why I have to keep saying the names, but it's habit, I think. Blue slate, bring that up. Bring that round that little glow a little bit, so we get that nice blue turquoise colour. Okay, let's go in with our pale sage. Well, if nothing else, I'm going to go in a bit lighter there. If nothing else, it's made a beautiful colour. No, I like it. I like it. And I'm going to go in with my grey-green, or grade, whatever it is, the grade one. You know my brain by now, folks. It just doesn't cope. Okay, so I need some more blue. So I'm going to go back in with my non-photo blue. I'm holding my pencil a little closer now, so I've got more control. Go back in with our blue slate. Excuse me, another sip of drink. My mouth, oh, they're so sore. I'm waiting to see if they develop into like they did last time. This is the sage green, and then I'll go to the doctors if they do. At the moment, it's just the one, but it's just very painful. Well, three actually, but they're sort of two insignificant ones. If they develop like they did last time, then I'll go back to the doctor so they can see what I'm talking about. If I go in the surgery and I haven't got any, and they're like, well, come back when you have, won't they? It'd be like I'm wasting their time. So I'm going to bring out the blue again, so blue slate, just deepen that up. That way this will look more like it's glowing. A little bit more around our fairy light, I think, help it to stand out. And then a bit more pressure and get that blended in. I think that is the biggest part of the page, this bit that we've just done, so that would be the most difficult to do. The rest of them are all tiny little sections that will just be easy to colour. Okay. I'm not sure. This is non-photo blue. I want it a bit brighter here. It's got very dull. And what I might do, unusually for me, is take a colourless blender, just make sure it's clean, and just blend that through so I don't have to put any more colour on. Just lightly again, I'm not pressing hard. Just want to smooth it over. Okay. Let's just come out and have a look. That's where we're at. What do you think, folks? Do we like it? I think once it's I think once we've completed it, it will look fine. I think I am going to have to go back in, and once I've put the placements in, go in and put a harder pressure on to sort of blend it through. But other than that, I think it's going to look cool. There's where the problem is. I think there, I hadn't intended a light to be there, had I? It was just meant to be a bit of a glow, so I'm going to take that out. Or had I intended a, I don't know. But I'm taking it out and just leaving that sort of glow. That's better. Yeah, that's better. And the rest of them I will do just like that, with little subtle hints of what I'm classing as like little magic or fairy doodads. I don't know. Whatever you want them to be. And we can always add some white in there as well. There, leave alone, Lucy. Step away, step away. Okay, what do you think? It was a risk. It is a risk when you do new things like this, but I think this little fairy is going to be pink. Pink and green go beautifully. I think this will probably, this little mouse will be grey, and his hat's probably going to be pink. So the blue and the pink and this very beautiful wedding dress. I've got some gel pens to put the sparkle on. I think it'll be beautiful. So I'm going to go off and do each little section, take my time, finish the background, and then I will come back to you with any hints, tips or tricks that I've learnt along the way. We could, you know, we've always got white, we can go in actually and really bring those out. Does that work any better? Does that help? If they're not so... Well, I don't think so. I don't think it's necessary. But it's up to you. There you go. So yeah, so I'm going to go off, excuse me, finish the background, and then we'll come back, and I think we probably are going to have to call it part 1 because this video is going to be so long. Alright my lovely friends, I'll see you in a sec. Okay guys, here it is. I'm thrilled to bits with it. I love it. It's just something subtle but different. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the wings yet. I'll have to have a think about that. But as I got further down here, I've got a little bit to finish here, but as I got further down here, it occurred to me that I'm going to need to make this more green than blue. So what I did was introduce a little bit of sky blue light. We'll come in so you can see, and then I will let you go for the evening so I can get the video up to you, and we'll finish it off on part 2. So I'm going to take a little bit of sky blue light really lightly and put this round here, just so that it's not so stark green when we come down. just a little bit. So I'm not pressing hard with any of this, just gentle, gentle layers. So I'm going to fill that up with sky blue light and then go in with my pale sage. Can you see? Oh goodness me, thank goodness. Pale sage. I love this page. I absolutely love how it's turning out. And I think we'll put some white. I've got some pink sparkly gel pen. We're going to add some sparkle to our dress. You know where all these little bits of I don't know what they're called. They're not freesia, are they? I don't know what they're called on a spray on a bouquet. I can't think what they're called. But we'll add white and then some pink as well. But we'll have to do that all at the end. Otherwise, I'll just rub it all off. So I'm just going to go back in now with my sky blue light. Put that over. Not too much. Just smoothing it out. And then go in with the grey-green light. And then just merge that. Just so we've still got a hint of that bluey colour, but it's less obvious as we get towards the grass. There we go. There's a little bit over here, so we'll just do this bit. And there's a little bit up in here. There. And then we're part one done. And if you think it's still too green, just keep going back over with that sky blue light. I wouldn't put any of the other colours on it because it will go too blue. Yeah, I'm thrilled with it. I'm just loving it. I think it's going to be gorgeous. When we come back, we'll be able to finish it off together. Add sparkles and whatever else we're going to add. A little bit in there. There we go. A little bit of blue in there. There we are, my lovelies. Okay, let's come out and have a look at the entire page. I hope you can see all the colours. A bit too far. There we go. Yeah, so thank you so much for following me if you have. If you're going to do the picture with me, please, please, please let me see it. I love it. It just, the interaction with you guys when you do that makes my day. It just makes it all worthwhile. I get so excited when people have followed me because I still can't believe that I'm in that position that people do that. So I am thrilled with how our wedding dress is coming out. But I'm not going to waffle on anymore. I'm going to let you go and enjoy your evening. I'm going to go and do a lot of editing and get this up to you tonight. And then we'll come back and we'll continue with our beautiful wedding dress. So until the next video, take really good care of yourselves and I will see you very soon. I will carry on colouring so I can get it straight up as soon as possible. Alright, my lovelies, take care. I'll see you soon. Night night.